You can't do this to me and Chloe, Nicole cried, watching her husband pack.
Do what? Betray you? Is that what you think?
Todd was furious. Isn't that what it is? It's betrayal. You're not only leaving me, but also our daughter who adores you.
Don't exaggerate. I'm not abandoning our daughter. I'll see her regularly.
Regularly? Like on Saturdays? Do you think that's enough for a girl her age? Or do you think she'll forgive you when she finds out you're leaving us for a mistress?
Then don't say to her, I'm leaving for a mistress. We're just going to live apart for a while.
What? Do you want me to lie to our daughter? That's repugnant. You can't even count on that. Todd threw his shirts on the bed and spun to face his wife.
Do you really not understand why I'm leaving? Or are you pretending not to?
I really don't understand, Nicole admitted honestly.
Then let me make it clear. I'm tired of you, of your constant focus on everything except me. Where's the Nicole who looked like a magazine model? Look at you. You've let yourself go.
The situation was hurtful, painful, and above all, utterly unfair. Nicole and her husband had been married for 17 years. In that time, she had only gained 4 kilos, which was insignificant considering her age and the fact that she had given birth to a child. Plus, she had had another bad pregnancy, after which she was on hormones for almost a year, and even so, she had managed to avoid substantial weight gain. Nicole took care of herself and always presented herself brilliantly, as her job required frequent interactions with respectable clientele. With a gaze filled with resentment, Nicole looked at her husband. This deceitful man, who had been unfaithful multiple times over the past 5 years, was now attempting to tarnish and defame his wife rather than admit his own insatiable nature. The most despicable aspect of infidelity, Nicole thought, was not the act itself, but the cowardice in blaming one's partner rather than accepting the mistake. Nicole stopped crying. She suddenly realized that she herself didn't mind him leaving. You know what? Leave. I'm fed up with your lies, your incessant nagging, and your ever-changing mistresses. Do you believe I'm unaware of your string of women? Just because I kept quiet doesn't mean I didn't know. I was hoping that you'd hang out a little and then settle down. I thought it was a midlife crisis. But it appears that people like you are incapable of loyalty and genuine feelings. Saying this, Nicole spun around and went out of the room, slamming the door behind her. The woman sat in the kitchen, sipping her coffee. It was the only solace she could find. She couldn't comprehend how Todd, who had been so attentive and caring for the past 5 years, had turned into such an ungrateful and audacious person. The fault most likely lay with money. When Nicole and Todd got married, they were penniless. Nicole was fresh out of the college, and Todd was working a state job for a pittance. After their wedding, Nicole found work as a designer at a small company. When she became pregnant a year later, she offered her position to Todd during her maternity leave. Interestingly, there was only a 2-year age gap between them. Both were designers by trade, having studied at the same college, yet they were complete strangers. Their paths crossed by chance on a street when Nicole's grocery bag ripped, and Todd helped gather and carry her items home. Nicole was more talented than her spouse, which always bothered him. Todd vividly remembered Nicole introducing him at her company, where he presented his work to the manager. The manager, with a disgruntled look, had remarked, "Yes, frankly, he's mediocre. Your wife is much more talented, Todd." This phrase echoed in his mind every time he worked, stirring up envy for his wife's success. After her maternity leave, Nicole returned to that company, which had since grown and reached new heights. Todd hoped to stay on due to the company's expansion, but the head was firm. "Todd, we had a contract with you.
for the period of Nicole's maternity leave. Unfortunately, we have to let you go." Todd was angry with his wife, even though it was not her fault. "Todd, you'll find a good office. Why are you so upset?" Nicole tried to console him. "Where will I find a job that pays as well as this? Do you think everyone will be waiting for me?" "I'm not as talented as some people," Todd retorted. "Why are you mad at me? Is it my fault that my work is more appreciated?" Nicole asked, not understanding his rage. "Listen, why don't you create an impressive project and claim it's mine? That way, I might have a chance at the Emerald Estate. It's the best place in town." Nicole looked at her husband in surprise. "I'm sorry, but how am I supposed to create a project for you to claim as your own?" "It's very simple. You're my wife, and a husband and wife are supposed to help each other." "But that's not fair. I can't do that." "Well, then I'll be unemployed, and you'll support me and Chloe, since you're so talented and gifted." "Look, don't twist things around. Look for another firm. Why do you have to go to Emerald Estate?" "Because it's level. It's a mega cool company." Then Nicole said something she regretted later. "That's right. They're very cool and have to live up to their level. Even I wouldn't risk submitting my project to their corporation." Todd grew angry. He ran around the room, yelling at the top of his voice, accusing Nicole of being a traitor. He said she didn't love him, thought he was talentless, and didn't believe in him. Nicole tried to calm him down, but it was useless. Todd left home for 2 days and stayed with his mother. Nicole called her home, trying to speak with Todd, but he didn't answer his phone, and his cell was turned off. After 2 days, Todd came home, apologized to Nicole, and admitted he was wrong. "It's just, I need support. It's extremely important to me that you believe in me. I want to earn a lot so that you and Chloe won't need anything. That's why I want to get to Emerald Estate, and I was sure you'd agree to help me." "But the deception could easily be exposed," Nicole objected. "I can't tell you everything about the project, so you won't be able to answer all the questions you might be asked. And then what? Embarrass yourself for the whole town? You know how fast information travels in this environment. You won't be able to get a job at all." "I hadn't thought of that, to be honest." "But I did. That's why I refused to take part in this scam." "Okay, I'll think of something else." For nearly 6 years, Todd moved from firm to firm, never staying in one place for long. Either he was not satisfied with the pay and conditions, or the management was not satisfied with the quality of Todd's work. Then Nicole's father died and left a small inheritance. Nicole's mother had died a long time ago. She had no siblings, so everything her father had earned and saved during his life went to his only daughter. This included a 2-bedroom apartment, a small summer house, and about $30,000 in savings. Nicole was surprised her father managed to save such a sum, because he lived quite modestly and had a small pension. Besides, the apartment Nicole and her family lived in was given to her by her grandmother. "Todd, I've been thinking. Let's sell Dad's apartment, add it to the savings, and open our own design bureau," Nicole suggested. "Are you serious?" Todd's question was unclear, either filled with sarcasm or surprise. "And why not? Don't you think we can handle it?" "I don't know. It's risky and there's a lot of competition." "Look, if we don't try, we won't know what we're capable of. I think it's worth the risk. Besides, it's my inheritance, so I have the right to make the decision." "Okay, let's take the risk." They began looking for an office and gathering paperwork. During this period, Nicole discovered she was pregnant for the 2nd time. "See, this is a sign that we're doing everything right," she told her husband. However, things weren't as rosy as they seemed. A couple of days later, Nicole was admitted to the hospital with a threatened miscarriage. The doctors advised her to stay for at least a few weeks. "Nicole, What do we do about the firm now?"
"What do you mean? What do you do?"
"You open and set it up while I'm here."
If only Nicole knew how much she would regret her decision 6 years later, when her husband would leave her for his mistress, taking not only his belongings but also their joint company. So, Nicole stayed in the hospital for almost a month. She was consistently ill, as if her body was rejecting the pregnancy. After being discharged, she was ordered to avoid any physical activity. Nicole was advised to rest more, walk less, and avoid stress. Staying calm didn't work. Todd had constant conflicts with one person or another. He used to come and tell his wife everything, complaining, looking for support and understanding. Nicole sympathized with her husband and was constantly worried about him. Eventually, she ended up back in the hospital and suffered a miscarriage with complications. She stayed in the hospital for almost a month and then had to take various medications for a long time. The doctors delivered a sad verdict. Nicole would not be able to have any more children. She had always dreamed of having a son, but it seemed that dream would never come true. Nicole was hesitant to tell Todd about her real health condition, but she felt she couldn't withhold the information. And when she told him everything, she was surprised by his reaction. "What's the problem? We have a child." "I wanted a son. I thought you did too," Nicole responded. "I don't care, to be honest." Nicole was hurt by his indifference. She spent some time in a depressed state, needing time to regain her mental and physical health. Meanwhile, Todd was busy with the firm. He was hiring people, taking orders, and doing quite well, until Nicole joined the workplace. With her arrival, things started to change. Clients who used to prefer Todd now leaned towards Nicole. She was quicker to find the necessary project variant, more accommodating, and friendlier compared to Todd. As a result, Todd began to resent his wife and envy her success. This dynamic persisted for the next 5 years. Todd sought solace in the company of other women and constantly grumbled about his wife. Some women left him due to his incessant complaints, while others left because they realized he would treat them the same way if they were in his wife's shoes. Consequently, they didn't want to be with such a man. For a long time, women came and went in Todd's life until he met Anita 6 months ago. Anita was a savvy and business-minded young lady. She quickly realized that with the right approach, she could benefit from Todd. She comforted him, sympathized with his troubles, and lamented about his career-driven, selfish wife. And Todd fell for her. She was precisely the woman he thought he needed. Over the past 6 months, he constantly nagged his wife and picked fights intentionally. Encouraged by his mistress, his resentment towards Nicole grew. Anita guided Todd on how to behave, what to say, and how to hurt his wife the most. Today, Todd was packing his belongings to leave Nicole for Anita, who he believed was the only one who truly understood and loved him. Nicole finished her coffee and called her friend. Morena was not only Nicole's closest friend, but also the godmother to their daughter Chloe. More importantly, she was incredibly wise. "Hi, Morena, we need to meet," Nicole said. "Hi, is something wrong?" Morena immediately sensed trouble. "Yes, Todd left me." "What do you mean, left?" Morena was taken aback. "Literally, he packed his stuff and left for his mistress. Said he's had enough of me." "What a shock! How could he get tired of you? After all, you've been supporting him throughout your marriage. He's so ungrateful. Well, let him leave the company." Morena was furious. She had always disliked Todd and knew how much Nicole had done for him. "So, can we meet tonight?" Nicole asked. "Sure. I'll ask the chief to excuse me now, and I'll be at your place in an hour." That's the thing about Morena. She would drop everything to help a friend, no matter the place or time. For her, friendship was a 24/7 commitment. Nicole admired her friend and strived not to take advantage of this dedication. But in this situation, Nicole knew she needed Morena's support and advice. Chloe, returning from school, asked, "Hi, Mum. Why aren't you at work?" "I don't feel well, so I stayed home. How was school?" "Everything's fine. Can I go out for a couple of hours, then do my homework?" Nicole calmly allowed it, which was unusual, as she typically required homework to be completed before any outings. Sensing something was off, Chloe asked, "Mummy, are you okay? I heard you fell under the weather, but you seem more than just sick." Nicole decided it was time to tell her daughter the truth. "Chloe, Daddy's gone." "I don't get it. What do you mean, he's gone? Where?" "To another woman." "To another woman?" Chloe was in disbelief. "What's his problem?" "He said I've gained weight and I don't look after myself anymore." "Is he blind or stupid? Does he really think you're the one who gained weight and doesn't look after yourself? That's ridiculous. He probably wants a younger woman. I hate him." "Chloe, don't say that. He's your father." "So what? Where is my father? I don't see him. I only see my mum, who's always been there, while Dad was always busy with himself, his ambitions and his plans. I will not communicate with him, and don't ask me to." "You're almost an adult, so you can decide for yourself. I won't ask you to do it if you don't want to." "I really can't get it. How could a normal person leave you? I don't understand, and especially because, according to his excuses, you've gotten fat. It's an idiotic and total lie." Chloe mumbled to herself as she went to her room. Nicole heard Chloe calling someone. "Meg, my plans have changed. We'll go out tomorrow because I'll stay with Mum tonight. Dad's left us. To hell with him. I don't want to leave her alone." Nicole was moved to tears. She always knew she had raised a good girl, and Chloe's actions proved it. "Chloe, I'm sorry I overheard your conversation. Morena's coming to visit me soon. You can go for a walk if you like." "No, Mummy, I'll stay with you. We need a brainstorming session and a women's council. My godmother and I will definitely figure out a way to get back at him." "Sweetie, I don't want revenge. Let him live his life as he pleases. It'll be easier for us. We just need to sort out the firm." "Okay, when godmother comes, we'll sort it out," Chloe concluded in an adult manner. Morena arrived with a bottle of wine and a cake, giving her distressed friend the choice between drowning her sorrows in wine or indulging in sweets. "Well, who here needs a Morena's ambulance?" she asked as Chloe opened the door. Nicole was always amazed by her friend's relentless positivity. It was a mystery where Morena got her strength and energy, but she was never short of it. "It's so good to see you," Nicole greeted, hugging Morena. "Likewise. Now, tell me, how dare he leave you? I kept thinking about it while driving. He's been living off you all these years. Ungrateful jerk." Morena turned to Chloe, who stood in the doorway. "I'm sorry, Chloe. I realise he's your father." "So, I entirely agree with you. Do you know what he accused Mum of? That she doesn't take care of herself, and that she's fat. Can you believe it?" Morena looked at Nicole in surprise. "Really?" "Yeah. Godmother, what should we do? We have to get back at him. But how?" Chloe asked. "That's something to think about. Nicole, is the company registered to you?" Morena asked. "Yeah. Who else would it be registered to?" "I'm sorry. Are you sure about that? Have you seen the documents?" her friend asked. Nicole pondered this. Indeed, Todd hadn't shown her the finalised documents. She had only signed a general power of attorney to represent her interests during the company registration, and that was it. At the time, she hadn't cared about the details. "You know, I didn't even see them. All I remember is giving him the power of attorney. Then I had a miscarriage and I stopped worrying about the company for a bit. Afterward, I just resumed work, and Todd and I worked as equals, as co-owners." "You should definitely clarify that. Wait, why as co-owners?" Aren't you supposed to be the sole owner? The company was opened with money from your inheritance. We agreed to co-own the company. Oh my gosh. So you're just giving him half of the company. It seemed like a good idea. I didn't expect us to get divorced. He's always been ambitious. I wanted to boost his confidence and support him. You did, and all that got you was an insulting thank you note. Okay, calm down. I'll go to the office tomorrow and sort things out. He can't do anything to the company without my approval. I wish that were true, Morena said sadly, but it seems to me that things aren't as simple and clear-cut. My intuition tells me that he's got a few aces in his pocket. Morena, I know you don't like him, but you're overreacting. What sabotage could he pull off if the firm is ours? There's only going to be a division issue. Someone might buy out someone else's part of the business. And whose name are the accounts under? Morena asked. 2 people with equal rights. Why don't we call the bank? Morena suggested, and request access to the account. We'll immediately know who the real owner is. Are you implying that Todd could have tricked me here? Nicole was shocked. Don't make things up, please. I'll call right now just to prove you wrong. Nicole called the bank where they had their personal and company accounts. She asked the operator for details about the company account. I'm sorry, the operator apologized. Only the account holder can access such information. I understand, but I am the co-owner of the account, Nicole replied calmly. I'm sorry, no. This account has one owner. There are no co-owners listed. Stunned, Nicole dropped the phone. I don't understand. I don't understand anything. Am I making it up or not? I'm afraid, my dear, you don't have a firm either, Morena sadly summarized. Can someone explain to me what's going on? Chloe asked, confused. Your daddy took away Mum's business and all the money. He set it up in advance. Wow. But the company was organized with Grandpa's money. He didn't invest a dime, and now he gets everything. Does justice exist, or only in fairy tales? Chloe was growing angry. Girls, wait. Calm down. I'll talk to Todd. Maybe there's a mistake. Yeah, the mistake of youth when you married him, Morena retorted. Chloe sat for a while, then tactfully excused herself, giving her mother and godmother an opportunity to discuss their feminine matters. The following morning, Nicole visited the company, intending to clarify the misunderstanding with Todd. However, to her surprise, Todd was not there, and his return was uncertain. Nicole attempted to go over some papers at the firm, but couldn't find them. It seemed Todd had hidden them well. After spending the entire day in the office, Nicole tried calling Todd, only to find his number disconnected. With no other option, she packed up and drove home. Todd was absent for 4 days. On the 5th day, he casually returned to the office. From the doorway, he bluntly told his almost ex-wife Nicole that she was no longer employed there. What's that supposed to mean? Nicole asked, puzzled. It means you're fired, my dear. You were listed with the firm as a salarized employee. My firm does not need your services now, so you're laid off. Any questions? He responded. Plenty. This is our firm. Actually, more mine than yours. You can't dismiss me, Nicole retorted, growing angry and afraid at the same time. No, you're wrong. I own the firm outright. You can try to challenge it in court, but I must warn you, there's hardly any money left on your card, and don't expect any new receipts. So you have no money for a lawyer or a lawsuit. You can't do that. Oh, I've heard that phrase a long time ago. And you know, I could do it then, and I can do it now. Any questions? No questions. So, take your stuff and go out. Todd gloated. It was clear he was exultant. Don't get upset. A talented designer like you will quickly find a job. And I will manage my firm myself. You're such a jerk.
How could I have lived with you for so many years?" Nicole stormed out of Todd's office, packed her personal belongings, and left the firm for good. For a while, she tried to change the situation and influence her ex-husband, but over time she realized it was futile, and she really didn't have the money for endless court battles. Nicole started job hunting. She wasn't accustomed to idleness and couldn't afford it. She had to support herself and Chloe. She couldn't rely on Todd's decency or alimony. Despite her name's popularity, she struggled to find a job. Following Lee's advice, she posted an advertisement online offering her design services, showcased her work, and waited. Just 2 days later, Nicole's first project client appeared. He wanted a design for his father's house restoration and needed it quickly. Nicole enthusiastically accepted the task and completed it overnight. The client was not only impressed by the speed, but also the quality of her work. "May I share your contact details with my friends? They're planning to build a house and need an expert," he asked. "Absolutely. I would really appreciate that," Nicole responded, feeling excited. After receiving her first payment for the order, including a speed bonus, Nicole was thrilled. Customers began to appear one after another, like mushrooms after rain. In 3 months, Nicole had already formed a queue of orders and was signing up clients for weeks in advance. The paradox was that, despite the presence of quite a large selection of design bureaus in the city, clients went to her. Some even left renowned firms like Emerald Estate to work with her. This boosted her confidence and flattered her. Gradually, Nicole's business gained so much momentum that she considered opening her own design bureau. She was overwhelmed with orders and couldn't keep up alone. She lacked the funds for such a venture, but Morena persuaded her to take a risk and secure a loan. A year after her divorce, Nicole owned a bureau that no one else could claim. Her business didn't just thrive, it excelled. She had a substantial staff that included 3 architects, 4 designers, an accountant, a lawyer, a PR manager, and a secretary. Assembling such a team in a year was a major achievement. One day, an unusual client visited their office. He planned to renovate his hotel chain's interiors. However, he wanted more than a simple refresh. He desired something special and genuinely unique. Nicole pledged to personally visit one of the hotels to understand what changes could be made and how to introduce a unique element into the interior. In the evening, she informed Chloe that she was going on a 2-day business trip. "Oh, that's something new. Where are you going?" Chloe asked. "I'm going to another state. The client operates a chain of hotels across the country, but he wants to start specifically in this state. I'm going to see what interesting ideas can be implemented there." "Soon you'll have international clients. You're going to be very popular," Chloe smiled. "I'm proud of you, Mum." "Thank you, sweetie. That's lovely to hear." Upon her return from the business trip, Nicole gathered all the designers and outlined her vision for the project. The team began a brainstorming session, proposing various options. Ultimately, they conceived a grand, large-scale plan, but it needed their client's approval. Nicole called him. "Levine, good afternoon. We should meet to discuss your project. We have an interesting proposal, but we would like your approval before proceeding. If you're not satisfied, we can consider other options." "Sure, let's meet for dinner at a restaurant tonight. Does Astoria suit you?" Astoria was an expensive restaurant, beyond Nicole's usual reach, but she didn't want to decline, so she agreed. "Yes, good choice. Let's meet at 7. Does that work?" "Great. See you tonight, then." Around 5, Morena called her to chat a little. When she heard that Nicole had an important client meeting at Astoria, she asked with a sly smile, "Oh, how interesting. Is your client young and handsome?" "Oh, Morena, he is just a client." "You need to stop being so professional. You need to sort out your personal life. Don't recall about that leech.
He's living off you, remember? It's time for you to find your happiness while you're young." "But this client is definitely not my type." "Why not? Is he old? Ugly? Rude? Does he smell bad?" "Morena, don't be absurd. He's not old, just a few years older than me. He's not ugly. In fact, he's very handsome, polite and cultured. But he's out of a much higher status, Morena. He's out of my league. And yes, he smells divine." "Oh, what do you mean, not your league? You're not from a garbage dump either." "Is he married?" "I think so. A man like that can't be alone." "Do you know anything about him at all? What a kindergarten! We live in the 21st century. We have free access to all kinds of information, and you don't know anything? What's his last name?" Nicole answered, and Morena quickly Googled the information. In a few minutes, she already had a small dossier. So, 40 years old, single, owns 4 hotels. His older brother founded the construction company Emerald Estate. Emerald Estate? Nicole repeated aloud several times. "Morena, it's Emerald Estate." "Wow, cool," Morena feigned surprise. "What's that?" "Seriously, Morena, it's the best architectural corporation in the area. All the top architects and designers work for it." "Well, I'm sorry I don't work in that industry, so I have no idea who he is." "I just can't understand why he would come to our bureau when he has his brother's." Nicole wondered aloud. "You'll find out if you go to his place for dinner." "You're right. However, I don't know how to act around him. It seems he's lying to me or thinks I'm really foolish for trying so blatantly to hide who he is. But wait, if he was trying to hide, he wouldn't have come here and left his contact details. I'm completely baffled. Even I can't figure out why he didn't ask his brother for help, but came to you instead. It's a mystery. Regardless, Nicole, go to dinner and talk to him openly. Then call me, or I'll stay awake worrying and imagining. I'll call you when I get home. Thanks for your help." Nicole arrived at the restaurant at 7 sharp. It was inappropriate to be late for a business dinner. Jeremy Levine was sitting at a table waiting for his guest. Nicole walked over, greeted him, and sat down across from her client. She couldn't decide where to start, with the project or with clarifying the circumstances that led Jeremy Levine to visit her office. "Is something bothering you?" her astute conversation partner asked. To be honest, yes. Nicole, who wasn't one to weave deceit, asked straightforwardly, "Tell me, why did you approach my bureau, given your brother's company?" Jeremy Levine smiled, as if he had been waiting for this question. "You see, we had a disagreement. Orson, being the eldest, believes he knows best, but I'm mature and independent enough to make my own decisions. I don't rely on him, yet he continues to offer advice. When I approached him about developing a unique, memorable project for my hotels, he dismissed it as a waste of money. Despite my attempts to convince him that my business is my own, he wouldn't budge. So I told him I'd find designers from a different company to work on the project. He laughed, confident that only the best designers work for him. But I believe you can create an exceptional design and surprise my brother." Nicole appeared surprised and listened to Jeremy Levine's monologue. "Yes, life often presents more surprises than we anticipate." She smiled and spoke aloud. "It's quite difficult to catch me off guard, but you managed. Your brother is right, he has the best specialists, but I see this situation as a challenge. I'm ambitious and somewhat vain, so I can't let it be. We've come up with something original for your hotels, but I need your approval or rejection of the strategy before we proceed." Nicole presented the sketch and design and placed it on the table for Jeremy Levine. He grabbed the folder, opened it, and began to examine it eagerly. He leafed through the contents repeatedly. Nicole's hands trembled with excitement, and sweat trickled down her back. "Nicole, you're a genius.
There's no flattery or exaggeration here. It's not just a project. It's a realization of my fantasy that I couldn't articulate. How did you do it? Can you read minds?"
Jeremy Levine was bursting with emotions. It was evident that his feelings were sincere and couldn't be feigned. Nicole was indeed a talented designer. "You're embarrassing me. Half the restaurant is looking at us," Nicole responded. Jeremy Levine hadn't realized his excited whisper had grown into a near scream as he praised Nicole.
"Let them watch. It's not real. It's fantastic. I have no words," he said, taking the sketches in his hands again. "Do I need to sign somewhere? I accept this project."
"Wait, it's still raw. We'll finalize it, and I'll mail it to you."
"Great! I love it! I knew I came to the right person. We have so much more we can do together."
He paused, smiling enigmatically.
I can just imagine the look on Orson's face.
"Do you think your brother will like this project?"
"Absolutely. I think he'll be knocking on your door with an offer to join his company. He doesn't tolerate competition. If someone is truly talented, they should work for him. It's his life principle. You'll have a tough time turning him down."
"Just what I need. To start a war with Emerald Estate," Nicole responded with a sad smile.
"Don't worry, I'll be there for you, unless you have a very jealous husband."
"I'm divorced," Nicole said calmly. "Won't your wife be jealous?"
"I'm a widower. I have a son. He's 11. It's just the two of us."
"I'm sorry."
"It's fine. My wife passed away 5 years ago. I've come to terms with it and moved on. Do you have children?"
"Yeah, a daughter. She's 15. She'll be 16 soon. It's just the two of us."
"So mature. You must have given birth early, huh?" Pardon me for asking such a tactless question.
"Why early? I had a baby when I was 23. I'm 38, and I've never been ashamed of my age or hidden it, as some women do. I don't see the point."
"I never thought you were that old. That's not flattery or a compliment, it's the truth. You look amazing."
Nicole smiled. At this point, she wanted to share that she had divorced her husband because he thought just the opposite, but she kept silent. "Thank you. How about you?"
"I'm 41. I'm not much older than you, I guess. I look older, don't I?"
"No, that's what I told my friend. I thought you were a couple of years older than me," Nicole said, not immediately realizing what she had shared. Jeremy Levine looked at her in surprise.
"You were talking about me to your friend?"
"It's just that she wanted to come over to my place tonight. I told her I had a business dinner at a restaurant, and she asked me who I was with and how old he was. Morena will never give up trying to remarry me." Nicole smiled strainedly and thought to herself, "Why am I saying all this? What a shame. If he runs away from me, that's what I deserve. I have to think about what and who to talk to. What an idiot I am."
"You have a good friend,"
Jeremy smiled. "Yes, that's true." After finishing dinner and discussing all the project details, Jeremy Levine suggested that Nicole take a short walk.
"If you're not in a hurry, of course."
"No, I'm not. I just need to call my daughter to see how she's doing."
"Sure, no problem. I understand."
Chloe was at home, had already eaten dinner, and was watching a movie on the internet. "Mommy, don't worry. I'm an adult now. And you rest. It's not too late." "Okay, I'll be home soon." After leaving the restaurant, they strolled along the embankment. The walk proved to be incredibly enjoyable. Nicole shared about her accomplished projects, which she was proud of, while Jeremy spoke about his hotels scattered across the country. They found each other's company intriguing and had lots to discuss. Before they knew it, they had reached Nicole's house. "I must go now. We're here," Nicole said, sounding regretful. She wasn't ready to part ways with him.
"Did something upset you? Have I done or said something wrong?" Jeremy asked.
"No, not at all. I enjoyed our time together. Yet you seem upset. We can have another evening like this, whenever you'd like. What about you? Nicole asked, looking into his eyes.
I'd like that very much,
Jeremy said with a smile. Nicole blushed and diverted her gaze. Let's first finish your project, then we can return to the restaurant and celebrate, she suggested.
How long will your team need to complete it?
Just a couple of days.
Then it's settled. I'll be awaiting the draft in my inbox, and thank you for a delightful evening.
He leaned over and kissed her hand. Thank you too. Nicole smiled and looked into his eyes again. See you later. She returned home, happy and satisfied. Mummy, you've been out so long. Now I know what it's like to wait for someone. How was your dinner? Splendid. Chloe, I think I'm in love. Wow, that's news. Love at first sight. No, we've talked before. So, from the second sight? Nicole smiled. Ah, well, that changes the case, of course, laughed Chloe. Who is he? I'll show you right now. Search for Jeremy Levine. Chloe quickly typed in the data, and upon seeing the photos whistled. Wow, good choice, Mummy. Owner of a hotel chain. Sibling of a construction corporation owner. Well, at least he might not want to take your firm from you. And he's so handsome. I like him. We approve. Chloe, come on. I'm the one who fell in love with him, not the other way around. He doesn't need me. Why? Then why did he invite you to the restaurant? To discuss a project we're working on. Mummy, you're smart and beautiful, but clueless about love. I'm sorry. No man invites a woman to a restaurant to discuss a project. That can be done during office hours. If he invited you, it means he likes you as a woman. Do you think so? Yes, of course. I'm sure you do. If you don't believe me, ask my godmother. Oh, I promised to call her. Do you think it's not too late? I don't think so. She's expecting your call. She called me twice this evening to check if you're here. Okay, I'll get changed and then call her. Even though it was around midnight, Nicole still dialed her friend. You awake? No, of course not. I'm waiting to hear about your evening. Come on, spill the details. Nicole laughed and recounted how the evening had unfolded, what they had discussed, the walk they took afterwards, and confessed her burgeoning love for this man. Finally, God has answered my prayers, Morena said, referring to Nicole's past troubles with Todd. That's enough. Don't bring that up. You know, Morena, I don't think it's going to work out. We are from different worlds. Listen, don't make things up. According to your stories, he's a normal guy, not from a royal family. Just like you. Except he has a bossy brother who will hate me for this project. So what? What does his brother have to do with it? He has his own mind. Moreover, he isn't afraid of his brother. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten involved in this project conflict. So, don't worry, and build your new relationship in peace. Okay. You've calmed me down. I'll try. After chatting some more, Nicole took a shower and went to bed. It had been an emotional evening, and she fell asleep quickly. The next day she dropped Chloe off at school and went to work. She had to work hard on Jeremy's project to finish it quickly that day. By evening, the team had nearly completed the project. Nicole looked at her watch. 19:30. Guys, let's call it a day. We'll finish it tomorrow morning. There's not much left. Everyone left, leaving Nicole alone. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Yes, Nicole said quietly, unaware of who she was about to encounter. The door opened, and on the threshold stood Jeremy Levine, holding a huge bouquet of red roses. Good evening. You know, I've been thinking and decided that we can have dinner without an occasion, he said with a smile. What do you think? Good evening, Nicole responded, her smile radiant. I don't mind. She walked over to Jeremy, accepted the bouquet, and brought it up to her face. The roses smelled divine. Thank you. I'm pleased.
A beautiful woman should receive flowers regularly, in recognition of her beauty and charm, Jeremy stated.
Not all men think so, Nicole replied.
What fools! Then they risk losing their women. There's always someone who truly appreciates their women.
Maybe.
Do you still have a lot of work to do? All your employees have already left. You're not planning to work alone, are you?
How do you know everyone's gone? Did you stake out my office?
I had to. I didn't want to embarrass you.
Thank you. It's nice that you care about my reputation, but as they said, I have such an impeccable reputation that I needed to be compromised a long time ago. Nicole smiled.
I'll keep that in mind, but without your consent, I wouldn't dare show up in front of the employees.
Let's go to dinner. I'm really hungry. Nicole smiled again. Tonight's dinner was more interesting and emotional than the first. Jeremy looked at Nicole like a cat eyeing sour cream. She noticed it and understood that a man of his age wouldn't play around for long. However, Jeremy maintained his composure and didn't allow anything inappropriate. The only thing he couldn't resist was a farewell kiss. It was the first time Jeremy had felt such emotions since his wife's death. He hadn't been in a relationship for almost a year. Then women began to appear, but these were casual relationships. Nicole, however, stirred up a storm of emotions within him. He relished their communication and didn't want to let her go, but he had to, because Chloe was waiting for Nicole at home. Nicole entered her apartment and heard her daughter talking to someone. Walking into the kitchen, she found Todd.
"Oh, Mum's here,"
Todd said with naive affection, but his expression became tense as he looked at Nicole.
"Where did you come from, so beautiful?"
"From work. What are you doing here?" Nicole, clearly surprised, asked her ex-husband. Since their divorce, Tom had only paid a visit to their daughter once and phoned a few times.
"And where does our mum work?" Todd asked Chloe.
"Mum works for herself. She owns a firm," Chloe declared.
"Really?"
Todd looked surprised.
"Since when?"
"About a year now."
"How interesting. And how are you doing? Do you have any clients? Or should I give you a couple for the sake of our old friendship?"
Todd's tone was clearly smug. Then Chloe blurted out something she clearly shouldn't have. "Well, I don't think she needs your offer. Mr. Levine is one of her clients. Do you even know who he is?" The girl, in her adolescent maximalism, didn't realize her actions. She childishly sought revenge on her father, the traitor, in the only ways she knew how. "Who is your client?" Todd asked, disbelieving what he'd heard. "It's a different Levine, not the one you're thinking of."
"Just a namesake?"
"No, his brother."
"What's his business?"
Nicole decided it was time to end the charade. "So, you've come to see our daughter. So, please do it. But I won't discuss my business with you. Understand?" With that, Nicole left the room. Chloe, fearing she'd revealed too much, ran after her mother. "Mum, I'm a fool. I shouldn't have told him about it. Should I?" "It's okay, Chloe. I understand you wanted to annoy him." "Okay, I'll say goodbye for him now. He's been sitting here for half an hour already." Todd left, and Nicole honestly thought that was the end of it. However, after leaving his ex-wife's apartment, Todd immediately looked up who Orson Levine's brother was. The results shocked him. Todd may have not been a talented designer, but he wasn't a fool. He understood that the owner of a hotel chain might order several projects from Nicole at once, which could mean significant money for a small firm. Upon arriving home, he immediately told Anita.
Can you believe she managed to outdo me and steal a significant client? Why did he choose her? Where's her office?
Todd, calm down. Why are you so angry? Anita asked.
Why? Because I didn't leave her any money, and she still managed to come up. You should have seen her, all pleased and happy. It's infuriating.
So let's do something. Is there a way we can attract her clients to us? Anita suggested.
No, I have a better idea. I'll pretend to want to reconcile with her and propose a merger, and then I'll make it so that she'll be left with nothing again.
He plotted. I'm not sure if she'd even consider a reconciliation. Why would she do that? Anita queried.
I'll tell her that I've come to my senses and want to return to my family. She's gullible, she'll believe me, he assured.
I don't like that idea, but okay. I have one condition. You won't sleep with her. Anita gave an ultimatum.
Okay, Todd agreed, thinking to himself that without following this condition, he had no chance of winning back Nicole.
He planned to start acting on Monday to avoid arousing suspicion in Nicole. She was gullible, but not foolish. Meanwhile, Jeremy invited Nicole out of town for a weekend.
Will you have someone to leave Chloe with? I'd prefer it to just be the two of us, without the kids.
Nicole clearly understood the purpose of the trip and had no objections. Arranging for Chloe's care was easy. Her friend Morena, knowing where Nicole was going and who she was with, was happy to take care of her goddaughter for the weekend. Yes, my best friend Morena is also my daughter's godmother, so that won't be a problem.
Then I'll pick you up on Friday at 6. Is that okay?
Yes, that's great. The weekend was magical. They dreamt of their future together, made plans and conversed. Jeremy recounted several times to Nicole how his brother had reacted to her project, and Nicole listened with pleasure. Orson wished to hire such a designer, but Jeremy informed him that Nicole had her own bureau and would not be interested in working for him. Orson then proposed collaborating with Nicole on a new city project that his company had recently won the bid for.
Brother, you need to speak with Nicole yourself. I don't wish to mediate in these matters. Besides, my line of work is different, and I have no knowledge of your business.
That very day, Orson personally visited Nicole's office, and they agreed to collaborate on this large project. Nicole was pleased with Orson's offer and the praise he heaped on her professional abilities. This happened just a couple of days ago. But today, she was even happier, having such a decent man by her side.
Nicole, I have an idea. When do you and Orson start working?
Next month. Why?
Why don't we take the kids to the islands for a week? Once work starts, there won't be time to relax. Also, remember that we have a contract for a series of design projects for my hotels.
I remember everything, Jeremy. Let me talk to Chloe, and you speak with Sam. If the kids are okay with it, we can go on vacation for a week.
How easy it is to agree with you, Jeremy smiled. I have another suggestion. Let's get married on the islands, and we can have the wedding celebration with guests after you and Orson complete the project.
Nicole was taken aback and looked at Jeremy. Are you proposing to me?
It doesn't seem like it at all, does it? Or do you think I'm a cheapskate and haven't even bought a ring?
Jeremy laughed. I didn't think that, and that's not the point anyway. But not listening to her, Jeremy slid his hand under the pillow, retrieved a ring box, opened it, and presented it to Nicole.
Dear Nicole, will you agree to be my wife?
Yes! She leaned over and kissed Jeremy. You're a sly one, aren't you?
If we speak about surprising the woman I love, then yes, I'm a big trickster. And I never cheat. I don't understand why someone should live with a person if they have to lie.
I adore you. Nicole kissed Jeremy again. They returned home Sunday night. Nicole called out from the doorstep. Are you guys home? Home! Morena and Chloe echoed in unison. "I've got news. I'm getting married!" Nicole announced jubilantly. Morena and Chloe, who had come out to greet her, were stunned. "So soon?" Chloe asked. "That's not all the news. On Friday we're flying to the islands to get married. We'll have the wedding after the project is finished. Did I mention I'm participating in a major city project with Orson Levine?" Nicole was radiant with joy. "What do you think?" "Amazing. Just amazing," Chloe responded.
"That's an understatement," her stunned friend added. "Is there a ring?"
"Yes, here." Nicole showed off her ring.
"Is that an emerald?"
Jeremy thought an emerald was a better match for my green eyes. A diamond is too cliché. "Chloe, will you come with us to the islands?" Nicole asked her daughter. "No, of course not. Why would I want to go to the islands?" "It's more interesting to go to school and live with my dad and his girlfriend," joked the girl. Nicole and Morena laughed because Chloe had such a face that it was impossible to hold back. Monday began with a surprise. When Nicole arrived at the office, Todd was already there waiting for her. She looked at her ex-husband in surprise. "Chloe's not here, she's at school."
"I need to talk to you, not Chloe."
"I'm sorry, but I don't have time. I have a very busy week ahead. If it's important, we can meet in a couple of weeks. Just call ahead and schedule a visit. I have a tight schedule." Todd suspected that Nicole was exaggerating her business to appear more important.
"I understand that you're upset with me, and rightfully so, but we're not strangers, are we? We were together for 17 years. We have a child together. Everyone makes mistakes."
"Todd, I don't understand what you want. Can you be more specific? I have a meeting with Orson Levine in half an hour. It's not polite to be late." Todd either didn't hear who Nicole was meeting with or chose to ignore it and continued to press the matter. "Let's arrange a time to sit down and talk properly. Tell me where and when." "I've already told you in 2 weeks. It can't be sooner. I'm really busy. I don't understand why we have to meet. You've already made your choice."
"Nicole, I want us to be together again." Todd made his move, presenting a small bouquet of flowers he had taken from the car. "I've realized that it's only you and Chloe I need. I swear there won't be any other women. Please, give me a second chance."
Nicole looked at her ex-husband, attempting to gauge the sincerity of his words. They had, after all, spent 17 years together. "So, you're saying you ended it with Anita?" Nicole found it challenging to believe. "Yes, we're done. After our last meeting, I spent a lot of time thinking and realized my relationship with her was a mistake. It's strange how we often only appreciate what we've lost. But we still have a chance, don't we?" Nicole was at a loss for words. On one hand, Todd had a point. They had spent many years together and each deserved a chance to make amends. But on the flip side, he had betrayed and deceived her. Why should she give him a second chance? Now she had a man who treated her with warmth and reverence, and her feelings for him were equally strong. Why to repair a shattered cup? "Todd," she finally replied, "I don't think it's a good idea to try and piece together what's broken beyond repair. It's just futile." Nicole wanted to apologize and express her regret about how everything had unfolded, but just then Todd's phone rang. He answered mechanically. "Yes, honey, I'll call you back." Todd looked at Nicole, realizing that his deceit had been revealed. "You need to learn how to lie convincingly," she said. "You're too hasty. I actually believed for a moment that you were genuinely remorseful and wanted to return. But I was mistaken. As they say, the fox may change his fur, but not his habits. Go away, Todd.
I can't stand the sight of you."
An expensive car pulled up to the office and Jeremy emerged, carrying a large bouquet of roses. Todd assessed the bouquet, realizing his own was clearly losing.
"I was foolish. I should have bought a larger bouquet. Mine can't compete," he thought.
Upon seeing the man with flowers near Nicole, Jeremy was somewhat taken aback.
"Darling, is there an issue with this man?" he asked.
"No, I'm all right. He's Chloe's father and he's just leaving," Nicole replied calmly and confidently, and taking Jeremy's bouquet, she gave him a gentle kiss. Todd gaped at his ex-wife, unable to believe that she had not only started a business from scratch, but also established a new relationship. He discarded his modest bouquet on a bench, got into his car, and drove away.
"What did he want from you?" Jeremy asked.
"You'd be surprised, but he wanted to come back."
"Why is that surprising? I find it odd that he left you in the first place. Wanting to return seems normal."
"I'll agree with you, except for one thing. He doesn't want me. He wants my money, my connections, and my business. I heard he's not doing well, losing clients left and right."
"That's not surprising. In business, as in life, you're either decent or you're not. It shows."
By the end of the week, Jeremy, Nicole, and their kids flew to the islands. Chloe and Sam became fast friends. They even started to resemble each other, like siblings. After the wedding, Nicole and Chloe moved into Jeremy's house. 3 months after the wedding, an unexpected joy occurred in the new family. Nicole discovered she was pregnant.
"Nicole, my dear, this is the best news," Jeremy exclaimed. "I'm thrilled we're going to have another child."
"But it can't be," Nicole repeated. "It can't be. The doctors told me I couldn't have another child."
"Nonsense. With me, anything is possible. This is just the beginning."
As for Todd, he sold his failing firm for a pittance and left town. Ironically, he not only abandoned his mistress Anita, but also took all her jewellery and savings as he left.